Nicole Hull, special education attorney and managing partner of the Hull Firm. And I want to take some time to just really speak to why I do what it is that I do. I've been asked, why are you so passionate about making sure that children are able to access certain things through school and ultimately through life? And honestly, it's because that's my experience. That is all that I know. And I want to kind of explore and be very candid about why I am committed to that idea. So I want to introduce you to my why and ultimately what I consider to be my standard. Meet Caesar Titus Allen Pankey, or to most, he was known as Sam. Sam is technically my uncle, but we were raised as brother and sister because Sam always lived with me until I moved out of the house to go to college. Sam was born September 18th, 1974, to doctors Titus Allen Pankey Jr. and Dr. Anita Ray Smith. Now, Sam was the baby of the family. He was actually the fifth child, so this wasn't my grandparents' first rodeo. However, when my grandmother contacted the hospital to let her doctor know that she was going into labor, her doctor was actually at a social party. He wasn't in, he didn't want to leave. And so he told her, the baby's not coming. We can just wait for a while, just stay at home. Well, he was wrong. She knew her body, she knew her child, and she went to the hospital and she was delivering. He was coming out, and the doctor was not there. And that scared the nurses. And so they pushed him, they kept him in her birth canal. Now, that deprived Sam of oxygen. And so when he was born, the doctor had some explaining to do. And so what happened was, instead of admitting liability and ultimately confessing to malpractice, the doctor said, he has a condition and he's probably not going to live past the age of 4 or 5 because his bones are going to deteriorate. Now, thinking about that, in that time, there wasn't a lot of technology and a lot of tests that would be able to rule that out. And that was the diagnosis. And so that is what my family accepted until Sam reached age 4 and 5, and nothing had happened. So after Sam's bones did not crush, they were not fragile, there was no indication that he had any problems with his bones, my grandfather, a scientist, decided that he was going to teach his son how to walk. And he did. Sam started to walk, and after that, my grandfather said, well, if I can teach him how to walk, I can teach my son how to talk. And he did. And it was that level of advocacy that elevated Sam's life. Without his father, without his mother, without his family believing in him, Sam would be unable to speak, and Sam would have been unable to walk throughout his life. Now, ultimately, Sam was able to enter into public schools, but at that time, because there was not a lot of research and understanding around traumatic brain injuries, which was what he truly had, he had the diagnosis of being mentally retarded. And Sam's educational services and the expectations or lack thereof expectations that were initially put on him were not satisfactory to my family. And I watched my grandmother, who is a psychiatrist, and my mother and my uncles and my aunts work with him to be able to get him the services that he needed. And so as I grew up in the household, all I knew was advocating for making sure that everyone had the best life. Sam was no different than I was. He was Sam. I was Nicole. My younger brother was Rick, and that is what it was. But we all had the love and support to have a family that advocated for each of us to make sure that we had what we needed. So I witnessed Sam having a very full life. I witnessed Sam having girlfriends. I witnessed Sam going to the prom. I witnessed Sam having a high school graduation. I witnessed Sam be able to fulfill his dream job, which was to stack groceries at a grocery store. And he also had a job in the community and was loved by all. So, when someone contacts the Hull Firm and seeks assistance with navigating through the special education system, it becomes personal to me. It's not just a case because I'm wanting that child to receive the same full life that Sam got to experience. And we know that education is not just learning academic subjects, it's also about socialization. It's also about experiencing a richness of life that you can only get during that time period. And I'm here to make sure that every child gets access to that.